Good morning, students. Let us know about the first war of Indian independence, 1857. The Britishers wanted to extend their rule over India, and they had brought the policies like subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. As a result of this, numerous states became part of the British Empire. This we had learned in the last lesson. So, this made many Indians unhappy. People were also upset with the administration of the British. This unhappiness erupted in the form of protest against the British in the year 1857. Many of the Indian historians termed this as First Indian Freedom Struggle, and the English historians termed it as the Sepoy Mutiny. So, what were the reasons for the first Indian freedom struggle? First is the political reasons. Due to the doctrine of lapse implemented by the British, many Indian kings had to lose their kingdoms. Dalhousie abolished the kingships of Tanjore and Carnatic Nawabs. The British dethroned the Mughal kings and many other kings. As a result, many soldiers who were dependent on these kings they became unemployed. So this became the main reason for the protest against the British. Next is the economic reasons. Due to the development of industrialization, where in England the Indian handicrafts and industries diminished, and England, apart from being an industrialized country, became a workshop of industries. The artisans of India became unemployed. The weavers became the first victims as wool and cloth making industries suffered a lot. The Indian handicrafts became financially pathetic. The British levied high customs on Indian goods entering the market of England. Next is the administrative reasons. The British brought in many civil and criminal laws into effect, but in the implementation there were a lot of partiality. Laws applied to the Indians in a different manner. As English became a language of the court, the English judges gave judgments in favor of the English. People did not like the new laws. Next is the military reasons. The situation of the Indian soldiers in the British Army was very pathetic. They did not have the status, salary, and promotion prospectus that of the British soldiers. The pressure put on the Indian soldiers for overseas work triggered resentment among them due to their religious beliefs. So these reasons are very important, students. Sometimes they ask write the administrative reasons and the political reasons, or sometimes they ask write the economic reasons and the military reasons. So all the reasons are very important, so you have to learn it line by line. Next is the beginning of the mutiny and its spread. The Indian soldiers who were present in large number, so they were in large number in the British army, they believed that they can drive away the British if all of them became united. The British started providing Royal Enfield guns, a type of new improved guns. These guns were new improved, and but news spread that the bullets of these guns were simmered in the fat of pig and cow. The cows were the holy for the Hindus and the pigs were prohibited for the Muslims. So this became the immediate cause of the mutiny, and the news or the rumor caused lot of unrest in Barakpur military soldiers. When the soldiers were directed to load the bullets to the gun by chewing off a part of bullet, the soldiers refused to do it. So earlier, whenever they had to direct or to load the bullets, they had to just bite it out, and so the soldiers refused to do it, and the soldiers of Barakpur revolted against the British officers. A soldier named Mangal Pandey shot dead a British officer. and he was arrested, and after a trial he was hanged to death. Now, the spread of the mutiny. This was spread everywhere. Meerut was a major military British base. The Indian soldiers refused to use the bullets of the new guns, and many soldiers were arrested. Then, a group of soldiers reached Delhi from Meerut, and they entered the Red Fort and declared the Mughal king Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India. Due to various reasons, the protesting soldiers reached Delhi. The protest became intensified. The spread like a wildfire to Delhi, Kanpur, and Jhansi. Rani Lakshmi Bai, who was angered by the doctrine of lapse, declared war on the British. She captured Gwalior. She died a heroic death while battling the British in another field. Even today, Rani Lakshmi Bai has a special place in the annals of Indian freedom struggle. So this was about the spread of the mutiny. Next is the reasons for the failure of the mutiny. What were the reasons? First of all, it did not cover every part of India. Whatever the mutiny it spread, but it did not spread to the whole part of India. It was mainly concentrated on the issues of the rights of the kings and queens. And as it was not planned mutiny, so this mutiny was not planned one. There were many unexpected results. The unity among the British. So the British were united, but there was disunity among the Indian soldiers, and this resulted in the failure. Then the mutiny lacked direction and leadership. There was no one to give the direction to the soldiers, to the Indian soldiers, and there was no leadership quality in them. Then the soldiers also lacked discipline and organizing skills. The Indian soldiers lacked military strategies, planning, capabilities, and soldiering skills. The freedom fighters lacked a definite aim. Many of the Indian kings extended their loyalties to the British and did not support the freedom fighters. So many of the Indian kings also they showed their loyalties to the British, but they did not support the Indians, freedom fighters. So these were the reasons for the failure of the mutiny. Sometimes, not sometimes, every time they ask this question, so you have to read these reasons for the failure of the mutiny. Then last is the results. What were the results of the mutiny? The governance of the East India Company came to an end and the governance of the British government started. The administration of India was handed over to Secretary of Indian Affairs of the British Parliament. The Queen of Britain passed a declaration in 1858. It had the following aspects. There were five rules there. So, first, the agreements entered by the company with the local kings were accepted. Second, non-pursuance of regional expansion. Third, providing a stable government for the Indians. Fourth, equality before the law. And fifth, non-interference of the government in religious issues of Indians and participating the religious tolerance. And then the British finally they realized that unless and until they command the love and affection of the Indians, it will be very difficult to rule India. The ability to listen to the voice of the Indians was considered as the main reason for violence. Hence, they decided to involve the Indians. So, the Britishers decided to involve the Indians in the process of legislation and implemented policy of association. The first war of Indian independence is like guidepost of future struggles. So this was the first struggle, and this also outlined the importance of seeking alternative channels to pursue future struggles against the British. Thank you, students.